The 2026 NFL Draft is officially in the books, and let me tell you, the front office just pulled off a series of moves that will be debated for years. We just saw 3 days of chaos, 7 rounds of absolute madness, and a roster-building masterclass that has the potential to either change the face of this franchise or turn into a total disaster. Everyone has their opinions, but I've spent the last 72 hours breaking down every single pick, every trade, and the potential impact these guys are going to have on the field. This wasn't just a draft, it was a statement. But before we get into the grades and talk about which of these rookies is going to dominate, you need to know exactly what just happened to this team. Before we dive into this, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest NFL updates on the planet. Let's start with the big one. The move up from 23 to 20 to snag USC wide receiver my lemon. I've seen the comments, I've seen the shock, and I've seen the fans freaking out. But if you take a step back and look at the profile, this guy was built in a lab to play here. He's got that gritty, tough-as-nails mentality that this city demands. He's not the biggest, he's not the tallest, but he is an absolute weapon. He's got incredible swagger. He fights for every single ball in the air, and his post-catch production is insane. Some people are worried about his size, but I'm telling you, this kid is a competitor. He's the kind of guy who just eats, sleeps, and breathes football. He isn't just a receiver. He's a playmaker who is going to force defenses to respect the middle of the field. Is he the next big thing? Did the team reach the defense? But before we get into the details on the rest of this class, I have to ask you a question. Which of these rookies do you think is going to shock the league and be the biggest impact player in Week 1? Drop a name in the comments right now. Now, back to the draft board. The team clearly wanted to get younger and faster. When you look at the strategy, they're aiming for versatility. They need guys who could do a little bit of everything. Look at the selection of Eli Sturz, the tight end out of Vanderbilt. This was a critical pick. Everyone talks about the star power we already have at tight end, but that career clock is ticking. Bringing in a guy like Sturz, who won the Mackey Award and has that insane athletic profile, running a 4.51 and putting up massive jumps, is pure genius. He's a former quarterback, so he understands coverages, he understands space, and he has that raw, untapped potential that coaches dream about. If he learns to block effectively, he's going to be a nightmare for opposing linebackers. I'm giving this pick an A grade because of the sheer upside. Then we hit the trenches. Marquil Bell in the 3rd round. At 6 feet 9 inches and over 340 pounds, this guy is a physical anomaly. He was protecting the blind side for a championship-level offense, and he was doing it with ease. He moves light on his feet for a guy that size, and when he gets his hands on you, the play is over. He's raw, yes, and he has to watch his weight, but if the coaching staff can mold him, they've got a long-term starter at tackle. It's a developmental pick, but you can't coach that kind of frame. You either have the size or you don't, and Bell has it in spades. Wait until you hear the logic behind the quarterback situation, because I know what you're thinking, and no, they're not trying to replace our starter. In the 5th round, they took Cole Payton. I know, everyone loves to jump on the quarterback controversy narrative, but let's be serious. This isn't about replacing the face of the franchise. It's about having a functional, high-upside backup who can actually run the offense if things go south. Payton is a dual-threat monster. He's thick, he's powerful, and he completed 72% of his passes last year. Think of him like a Taysom Hill-style gadget player. You can put him in on read options, RPOs, or goal line packages. He's got a cannon for an arm and the athleticism to make defenses panic. This is a B-grade move for me because of the value. Getting a guy with his traits in the 5th round is just smart business. Moving on to the offensive line, they picked up Micah Morris, the Georgia guard. Now, this is a classic high-risk, high-reward situation. We know the history with Morris. He's had some trouble staying focused and keeping his weight in check during his college career. But look at the tape. When he's engaged and locked in, he's a bulldozer. He's got fantastic power, and for a guy his size, he moves incredibly well on pull blocks. If he buys into the system and works hard, he has the raw ability to be a high-level starter. The potential is there for him to be a massive steal at this stage of the draft. It's an A-grade swing on talent alone. Let's talk about the defense. For a long time, we were waiting for them to address the safety spot, and they finally pulled the trigger on Kowisniewski in the 7th round. He's a converted linebacker, so you know he loves contact. He's a relentless run defender who knows exactly how to navigate the trash around the line of scrimmage. He isn't the fastest guy on the field, and he's had some injury history, but he's smart. He knows where to be, and he has excellent ball skills from his days at North Dakota State. It's a B- grade for me because while I like the player, I was hoping for a bit more explosiveness in the secondary. Still, it fills a massive need. But the most fascinating pick of the entire draft, that has to be Bernard, the defensive tackle from Nigeria. This is the definition of playing 4D chess. This guy has never played a down of competitive American football in his life, but he's arguably one of the most physically gifted human beings on the planet. He's 6 feet 5 inches, over 300 pounds, and he runs like a wide receiver. We're talking about a guy who hasn't even scratched the surface of what he can do. Because of the international program rules, the team gets to develop him without worrying about the roster spot initially. This is a multi-year project, just like we saw years ago with another project who turned into a Pro Bowler. If the coaches can teach him the nuances of the game, the hand fighting, the gap integrity, the feel for the pocket, this could end up being the steal of the century. It's a low-risk, astronomical reward gamble. To wrap up the class, they grab Keshin James Newby in the final round. He's an edge rusher who is a bit undersized, but he wins with pure twitch and speed. He produced in college, racking up double-digit sacks, so he knows how to get to the quarterback. He's going to have to bulk up and learn to use his hands better against NFL tackles, but you can never have enough pass rushers. So, what is the final verdict on this draft class? When I look at the big picture, I see a front office that stayed disciplined, found value, and didn't panic when the board got weird. They attacked positions of need. They took some massive swings on high-ceiling athletes, and they didn't reach for players just to fill a spot. They were aggressive, they traded when they saw a guy they wanted, and they walked away with a haul that makes this team better than it was 3 days ago. Are they perfect? No. Did they take some risks? Absolutely. But that's how you build a championship contender. You don't play it safe. You hunt for talent, you build depth, and you trust your board. I am giving the overall draft grade for this team an A. They got the guys they wanted, they added versatility to both sides of the ball, and they brought in some real developmental projects that could pay off huge in a year or two. But I want to hear from you. Do you agree with my assessment? Did I get the grade right, or was this a complete bust? Drop a comment below right now and let me know your letter grade for this draft. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm reading every single one, so don't be shy. And hey, make sure you stick around because the off-season is just getting started, and we've got a ton more analysis, breakdowns, and news coming your way. We aren't stopping now. We're going to be tracking every single development with these rookies as they step onto the field for the first time. Keep it locked right here for the best coverage on the planet. You don't want to miss what's coming next.